Hello there friends, I'm SimReaper aka Lauren Suecki, and today I am back with another speed build video. I just had a random idea for this house. I wanted to do a house that looks like a staircase, so just like an ascending staircase, and I actually ended up making a reverse staircase there on the back, which I thought was like a cool little, opposite detail. And then I put a little pool back there. Right now, this build looks kind of ridiculous, but it will all start to come together here in a minute when I start working more on the outside. There's like a pretty nice patio area to this house and what I think is a nice backyard. This house has, I believe, 3 bedrooms, but there's also an office that you could make into a 4th bedroom if you so wish, and it is available to download on the gallery. Just look up my username SimReaperYT. And so this is more of a modern contemporary build, so I really enjoyed building it because I love modern builds. Not sure what I was doing with those columns there just a second ago, but so what can I talk about? See, that's always an issue for me with these speed builds, is I never really know what to talk about, because right now there's really not much to comment exterior wise on this house, and I can't really talk about some things in my personal life, so it's really difficult to pick a topic of conversation. I'm hoping that with more experience, like when I upload more and more videos, that I will get better at it and better at speaking basically to myself. It's a really weird phenomenon, talking to yourself. It's very interesting. I don't know it. There has to be people that are like naturals at it, right? But then there's people like me that are just like naturally awkward, so it's very difficult to start something like YouTube. Maybe you guys have experienced the same thing, maybe whether it's on YouTube or some other type of platform. It's kind of like, in speech class, right? Am I the only person that could never give speeches? This is kind of sad, but I would fail every speech class I took in college because when it came time for speech day, even though I had like a whole speech prepared, I would just run away. Like, I wouldn't go to the class. And yeah. So I'm not exactly, what is it called? Proficient in speech or speech giving. And I think that kind of ties into the whole YouTube thing as well, because they're pretty similar skills, I believe. So yeah, on the side of this house here, I am just making like a little, what is it called? A patio? It's not really like a patio. It's just like an outdoor seating area. Sorry for all the like random pauses as well though. I guess I didn't edit those out very well, but I was probably just like going and doing different things or like taking bathroom breaks, because this is a really long build. It took me about 6 hours to build it, and I built part of it at night, and then I went to bed and then finished it in the morning. So yeah, there's probably lots of little pauses, me talking to my husband, like all that kind of different stuff. And so I put a lot of greenery around, like surrounding this little seating area, which I thought fit in nicely with the wood tones of the house. Which, now that I'm kind of looking at the house, I wonder if maybe I should have only made one of the floors that white wooden paneling and just kept the rest the dark wood paneling, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to try it later and see which one I like better. But yeah, this was kind of irritating to do. It took me a little while because I was trying to line them all up perfectly. And usually whenever you like place objects within each other, they'll like have like a clipping, and that's really annoying. But thankfully with these little what are they called? Lattices? I don't know. There wasn't any clipping, so they all fit in kind of smoothly, which I was really happy about. And then I took forever putting these little bushes, little flower patches, like in the, what's it called? Oh my god. I can't think of words, and I feel like that's part of my problem when I'm trying to comment on speed build videos, is I have a very limited vocabulary, which is really interesting because when I was a kid, and I'm sure a lot of people have a similar story, but when I was a kid, I was like so-called advanced, and I had like the 12th grade reading level, and I had like a really good vocabulary. But now that I'm an adult, and maybe you guys have experiences like this too, but now that I'm an adult, I have a really hard time thinking of words. And it could also just be because I'm bilingual and I spend most of my time speaking in my second language instead of my first. But I feel like I just lose words sometimes, and it's really hard to find them. Oh, and I put those little slats, I think they're from City Living, there too, to kind of close off the seating area and also add like a bit of modern, what should one call it? Decoration? Adornment? I don't know. And I was trying to find the right concrete for the driveway area, which, yeah, those do end up being like little driveways. Hopefully we eventually get cars in The Sims 4. I'm not holding my breath, but hopefully that is something that we do eventually get. And I put a little fountain right there. It's just like a little detail because I didn't know what else to do with that area. And fountains are always a pretty good way to go, especially on modern builds. And yeah, I started doing a little bit of landscaping, but then decided to work on the fountain instead, which I was gonna put some like fountain jets or whatever, but none of them really looked good to me. So I ended up just putting the little square stones, rectangle stones in there instead. And then I put some lights on the outside, turned on the night view to see what it looked like. And yeah, and these windows, I actually end up realizing later, they're like the black tinted windows. So no matter how much you light up the inside at night, it like doesn't show through very well. And I didn't like that. I like it when my houses are very lit up and inviting. So I end up changing out the windows with a normal non-tinted window. Yeah, so I put those little chimera lights there on the right side of the house, which I love those lights. I feel like they just add a lot to a build, and it's just like such a simple thing to do. So yeah, here's where I was like testing out the windows, and I was like, how much lighting do I have to have for it to show through? And like even putting all those lights in there, you can see that it still doesn't look very lit up from the outside. So I do end up changing out those windows. So yeah. And here I'm just doing a little bit more landscaping, just putting a bunch of trees down, because ideally I would have liked this build to be done in like a foresty area, or maybe even like a mountainous foresty area. However, I do not have what is it called? It's the first pack that came out where you can go like camping and stuff. I don't have that pack, so I don't have that foresty world to work in, and I wanted this just to be a regular house anyways. So if we could get a pack with a foresty type of world that's not a vacation world, I would love that. Yeah, so I think the only packs I don't have are that one and the Jungle Adventure pack. I think I have everything else, but I'm not sure. I wish I had all of the packs, but I'm poor. And like people always say like I'm poor, but they actually like have money to do things. When I say I'm poor, like I mean it. Like Okay, so what I define as poor is not having enough money to pay your bills and then also worrying about being able to buy food. So that's where I'm at. Like, even if I can pay all of my bills, like even the times that I am able to pay all of my bills, there's not enough left over for me to buy food. So most of the time I'm just like being late on bills so that I can afford to feed myself and my husband. And that's kind of sucky. And you know, most people would say, well, Lauren, just get a job, you know? Like, why are you focusing on YouTube and doing this website and all that stuff and you're not even making money from it? Well, first of all, I really enjoy what I'm doing. So even if I don't make a ton of money from it, I'm happy with what I'm doing. And second of all, I have tried to get a job here in Japan, but for some reason, every time I apply, I just never get the job. And I don't know what that is, like what that's all about, but oh well. I could go into a whole rant about Japan and xenophobia and just discrimination against foreigners, but honestly, it's not worth it. Yeah, so I would love to have a job, you know, even if it's just like a part-time job, and then I could come home and do YouTube, but no, that's not working out. So I'm hoping, I have a lot of stuff planned this year for my YouTube channels and my website, so I'm hoping, like, okay, so that's gonna bring me into like a whole new rant. You know how people are like, oh, you shouldn't do YouTube for money, and like everyone gives people who do things with a goal of money like so much shit, but I don't see what's wrong with wanting financial stability. And I can't really speak for everyone, but I feel like for most people, it's not like they want, and I don't want to be like super rich and like just have way too much money that I don't know what to do with it. I just want comfort, like a comfortable, you know, monthly wage where I can pay all of my bills, buy as much food as I need, you know, be able to have a child, because that's something that I really want to do but can't do, and just have a fun life, you know, like maybe go out sometimes with my husband and just enjoy ourselves. But no, I can't do any of that. And that's the part that really bugs me when people are like, oh, like, you know, you shouldn't be doing YouTube for money, or you shouldn't be running that website, your website for money, or like doing affiliate stuff for money. Like you should only be doing it to like give people quality stuff. Like, what's wrong with getting paid for giving people value? I don't know if that makes any sense. I just don't see what's wrong with wanting money as well as enjoying what you're doing. Because like, I honestly enjoy doing YouTube. I honestly enjoy putting content on my website. And even though I haven't made money from it, I've kept up with it because I do enjoy it. And I hope to eventually, you know, start getting some form of income from it. But that's gonna depend on me keeping a regular, consistent schedule, and also on, I think part of it is luck, and then also me getting better at doing what I do and less awkward at speech and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, I just went on like a few huge rants there that I forgot to talk about the house, but I put a aquarium in the bathroom, which is something that I love doing. It's just like a half bath, but I love putting it in there because I saw a house in Japan that had the toilet room, the bathroom sort of set up like that with a little aquarium, and I thought it looked really neat. So now I kind of replicate that in a lot of my builds. And then the kitchen I did, and I really like those dark wood tones. I probably should be adding more color, but then again, this is a contemporary build. It doesn't have to have like a bunch of color. And then I ended up changing out the 2x2 column in the back for two 1x1 columns. Yeah. I call them columns, but they're just walls basically. And then I put those little slats there because I thought they really suited it and looked nice. And yeah, so the deck's kind of coming together back there. I'm kind of like jumping around all over the place. I'm sorry. That's kind of just how I do my builds. I'll do like some of the inside and then some of the outside and then some of the inside and then some of the outside. I jump all over the place. I'm a mess, but oh well. So yeah, I really like that rug. I think that's the first time I've ever used it. And then I put a half wall there just to sort of separate the living area from the rest of the downstairs area. So it's still like a very open build, at least on the bottom floor, but it still has a little bit of separation there. And then I really liked that whatchamacallit that you put on top of the half walls. So I put that there, put a little dog bed, because the person I imagine living in this house, which I actually made him, I don't know if you saw him and his dog, he's from a rich family, but he is like, he just moved out and he's trying to start his own company. So he's running his own startup and he just has like his little dog. And yeah, that's not a very detailed explanation of a person, but that's just kind of what I imagined him to be. And basically, he doesn't want to live under his parents' shadow anymore. He did, take money to live in this house, but he didn't really take it. I feel like he received money from his parents and then invested it, and then he had a nice return on his investments, and then that's what he used to buy the house with, and now he's focusing on starting his own business, which I think is really cool. And yeah, that's kind of the person I imagined for this house. But it's weird though, because I actually ended up putting a kid's room and a toddler's room in this house as well, and then like a little kid playground in the backyard. So maybe he just has hopes of expanding, is what I'm just gonna pretend. And yeah, I put that new round table that we got with the free update for the Chinese New Year, and I love it. I love how it looks. I love round tables because I had a round table in my house growing up. And yeah, so I put like a bunch of knickknacks on these shelves above the stereo just to add some personality to the build. And I have little pops of color here and there, but most of it's just black and browns and yeah. So I put that little coat rack there. And I'm trying to think of what I can talk about, but let me sip my coffee while I think about that. Oh, so actually, my first speed build that I did want to mention this. I actually posted it on Twitter, and then there was a very nice girl. Let me see if I can find her. Kate Emerald, at the Kate Emerald on YouTube. She actually shared my build with her followers. Like, she retweeted it, and it just made me really happy. And she's so sweet, and I'm so thankful to her for doing that. So yeah, so go check her out because she's always shouting out amazing speed builders on her Twitter. So she's a very nice person. And yeah, so I am now moving on to the second floor, just trying to figure out the layout for it. And I ended up going with all the sort of important rooms on the back there, and then just like an open area in the front. And so there's two kids' bedrooms there. Well, a kid's bedroom and a toddler bedroom, and then they both have their own little bathrooms. And then right there is the office. I put like windows into the office so you can like see it. I thought that that was like a cool touch to add. And then it's just like a pretty basic plain office. I really didn't spend too much time in here, to be honest, but I did put a little easel in the corner there, which you will see. Yep. And then I was trying forever to find the Artiste supply tabouret or whatever it's called. Yeah, that thing always takes me forever to find in build mode. It's so annoying. There's a lot of objects that they put in like the most random categories, and I'm just like, why? Why would you put that there? And I changed the flooring on this build like probably a million times, so be prepared for that. And here I'm just lighting up the place, seeing how the lighting looks at night, adding more lights to the outside because I'm a lightaholic. And then so I'm moving on to the 3rd floor, it seems like. Oh, no, I went back outside and then I paused for a second. Okay, now I'm moving on to the 3rd floor. And the 3rd floor has its own bathroom. Okay, the 3rd floor has a bedroom with its own bathroom and a walk-in closet. So I assume that that's the master bedroom where the parents would live if you had a family living here. And then the rest of the area is just like an open, like, I want to say like a party area. Like I ended up putting a bar in and a karaoke machine and a bubble blowing a little area. And yeah, it's just kind of like a lounge, I guess is what you call it, but it's on the 3rd floor. So, and I'm just furnishing the master bedroom now. It's a pretty good size for a bedroom, I think. Almost a little too big, but it ends up looking quite nice. So I went with like a green and this sort of earthy tone theme for this room, and it ended up looking very nice. I'm looking for a vanity, which is interesting because of the sim that I imagine living here. For the sim that I imagine living here, this is quite a girly bedroom. But I thought about it while I was building it. I was like, well, I'm gonna get him a wife, probably. And then I'm imagining she will have done the interior designing in the bedroom. Because girls always win when it comes to those sort of, oh, who's gonna, decide what we put in for furniture and like decorating and stuff. I mean, guys can decorate too, but I feel like in a heterosexual relationship, usually it's the girls that decide on the interior design of the house. So yeah, that was just like a useless ramble there. Sorry about that. And then I put this carpet in for like a quick second, and I thought it looked good, but looking at it now, not so good. But I do end up changing it back out for a different flooring later, so do not worry. I hate carpet, and I don't know why you would really have that kind of carpet in a modern build anyways. And I put that tub there, like, interestingly enough, in front of the window, but I do have like the little shades on the window, so I imagine that they would like close them whenever they want to take a bath, unless they're like exhibitionists, which no judgment. And then here I'm just making the kids' room. I imagine that it's a boys' room, but I mean, girls can like blue too. And I put that bookshelf there. I did test that bookshelf, as you can see. I did just right now, and it does work, so yay for that. And then I put a little TV in there, because I assume any kids that live in this house are going to be a little bit spoiled. Like, they have their own bathrooms and their own TV, and yeah. So just deciding the decorations for this room, I just kind of kept it all nice and blue, and then I made him his own bathroom. Pretty plain, nothing really exciting going on in there. but it's a bathroom nonetheless. Bathrooms, I guess, aren't really supposed to be very exciting. I mean, I assume they can be, but I chose not to overdo it on the bathroom. And then I'm making the little girl toddler room. I am obsessed with pink, so I feel like that comes out a lot whenever I make rooms for girls, even though pink isn't the only color girls can use. Just because of her personal preference, I use a lot of pink in my girl builds. So yeah. And then over here in this area, I decided, because their rooms are kind of small, you can't really put a lot of toys in them. So I decided to make a play area over here, because I wasn't sure how to utilize the space. At first I thought it was kind of like a weird space to just randomly have over there, but turning it into a play area actually really worked. Like, it ends up looking pretty cool, and just like a nice little corner where they can play together or separately, whatever they want to do. And then I just went back to the girls' room, add some more decorations, because I realized I forgot to really put up any wall decorations there, and I forgot about high chair, so I put that in as well. And just like a little rug. And there I am going back and changing the flooring in those rooms back to the wood flooring. And then I love that little plushie thing. I wish that they could interact with it, but I think it's so cute, so I put it in most of the kids' rooms that I build. And then over here I just put like a little seating area, just because I didn't know what else to put there, to be honest. And it ends up looking pretty nice. I like it. And yeah, so that's about it for the second floor. And I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'm putting more lights. I swear, I love lights. It's a problem. And then I was like deciding whether I wanted the windows on the very top or if it looked better without, and I decided to go without. And then here I am just decorating, or not decorating, but furnishing the top floor, the little lounge area. And then over here we just have like a seating area basically, where you can just like sit and maybe like drink your drink or watch people do karaoke. It's like a nice chill area. And I use that painting from Parenthood. It's probably my favorite painting in the game, to be honest. And then I put in the karaoke machine. I was trying to like decide on a rug for that area, because I just felt like the machine by itself just looked kind of weird. So I keep going back and forth on rugs there. And I think I ultimately do go with that rug, but we'll see. I have a very short-term memory, so I often forget, even if it's like the day after I built it, which in this case it is a day since I built this house. So I don't know if that's a healthy thing that I can't remember. I mean, obviously it's not healthy, but I don't know if it's unhealthy that my short-term memory is so bad. But yeah, here I am changing the wood floors again to a different sort of tone. I'm not sure if I stay with these or not. I'm pretty sure that's the final wood floor that I go with. And then, yeah, I was just making sure that there was like a ceiling on that part of the third floor, because there hadn't been. And then, yeah, just going back and okay, so there we go. That's the wood floor that I ended up using, and I think it looks so nice. It was the best option in my opinion, so that's what I went with. Just doing some little last decorative touches on the house, as you can see. And I think pretty soon we're going to be moving on to the backyard area. Yeah, so that's what we're moving on to now, just putting some lights into the pool, because I love lights. How many times do I have to say I love lights? Who knows? And then putting the pool objects there. I wanted to put something in the bottom of the pool just like decoratively, but couldn't find anything. I ended up putting like those steam vents, so who knows what it will actually look like when you use it, but I just went with it. And I changed the wall of the pool because I don't like the standard wall texture that comes with the pools. And then I'm just putting a little outdoor dining area with the, I believe, patio stuff grill, perfect patio stuff grill, and then the perfect patio table and chairs. And then, yeah, just some more lighting because why not? And then I put the stairs there, and I'm deciding, I'm gonna put the mailbox there, but now I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna do with the backyard. So I put like a little fire pit, which I end up putting it somewhere else, I believe. And then here I'm like trying to decide the layout of the kids' playground, because I very rarely make a house with kids' bedrooms without including a playground of some sort. So yeah, and I'm looking for the playground floor tile. There it is, the soft landing playground specific floor tile. And then here I actually stole this idea from SimReaperYT on YouTube. She creates little sandboxes for her kid Sims and toddler Sims, and I just thought that was such a cute idea. So I made a little sandbox and I put some toys and a toy chest in it, and then that's where I ended up moving the fire pit, and I put some chairs around it. There's a little bit more landscaping, and yeah, I try to match the landscaping of my builds with the surrounding area. So hopefully, no matter what world you put it in, this build will fit, but I can't be sure on that because I just kind of designed it to fit into this world. So sorry if you try to place it somewhere else. I mean, you can always like replace some of the landscaping like in the trees to match the world that you placed a lot in. So yeah, I think we're kind of coming to the end of this. I think this little seating area is probably one of the last things that I did. I was trying to decide on a color for the furniture here, and it's kind of like a weird, I do end up putting a hot tub in. I was sitting there thinking, this house could really use a hot tub. I mean, it's a rich guy's house. How can it not have a hot tub? But anyways, so I think I ended up going with the purple. Yep. Okay, so we're getting into the screenshots. That's the build. And I hope you guys liked it, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave off here because I have no idea what else to talk about, and I hope you guys enjoy the build. Remember, you can download it by looking up SimReaperYT on the gallery, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!